Hello class, good morning everyone. Today we are going to start the chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations for class 10, and I am here your sir LOYAMBA to teach you this chapter Chemical Reactions and Equations. So today, as we are going to study about chemical reactions and equations in our day-to-day life, from morning till night we sleep, every time, everything what we see are chemical reactions. Number one, the milk which your milkman used to give at the end of the day, if you do not boil, it becomes curd. That is a chemical reaction. When you eat food, you digest. That is a chemical reaction. Then the citrus fruit which becomes ripe, banana becomes ripe. That is a chemical reaction. And so many things like melting of ice, then boiling of water. All these are chemical reactions and changes. Now, the process, what is a chemical reaction? Now, if we see what is a chemical reaction. If we ask what is a chemical reaction, then we can write the answer as the process. Answer as the process by which one or more substances transform into a new substance is called chemical reaction. So here you see what is a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is nothing. It is a process by which one or more substance transform into a new substance is called chemical reaction. For example, ice is solid. When it melts down, it becomes liquid. It is the same thing. Ice is also water. Liquid substance that which we get, that is also water. Steam is also water, but there is some physical changes, okay, changing from solid to liquid to gas. All these are what? Chemical reactions. For example, suppose the milk, when you do not boil it, it transforms into curd, semi-solid substance, okay. So there is also a chemical reaction. So the process by which one or more substance transform into a new substance is called chemical reactions. Or you can say, or you can define as chemical reactions may also be defined as the process in which the old bond breaks and new bond are formed. Is also chemical reaction. So how can we define another chemical reaction? Chemical reaction may also be defined as the process in which the old bonds breaks and a new bond are formed. That also we can call it as chemical reaction. So here the previous substance, the bond that is there inside the previous substance, that will break down and a new bond will be formed. That is what called chemical reaction. So when we see the chemical reactions, we see that reactants forming the product. Sometimes reactants may be one or maybe two reactants. Sometimes there may be reactant, okay, one, and there may be another reactant two, forming one product. Okay, product will be one. Sometimes reactant 1 may be reactant 2 and maybe reactant 3 forming reactant, one reactant. Sometimes there may be reactant 1 and reactant 2 forming two products. Okay, it depends on the chemical reaction. It depends on the chemical reaction. How many reactants are involved to form one product? How many reactants? Maybe 2 reactants, maybe 3 reactants, maybe 4 reactants to form one product. Sometimes 3 reactants to form 2 products. For example, let me tell you here. For example, hydrogen reacts with nitrogen to form one product called ammonia. So nitrogen and hydrogen reacts to form ammonia. So this is reactant number 1 is the hydrogen, reactant number 2 is the nitrogen to form one product, that is ammonia. So here 3 hydrogens are here, so I will multiply here with 3. Here 2 nitrogens are here, here 1 nitrogen, so I will multiply here by 2, 2 nitrogen, 6 hydrogen, here 6 hydrogen, so the equation is balanced. So this is a chemical reactions, a very simple chemical reactions which we see. Now we are going to study about the chemical equation. How can we write chemical equation? So chemical reactions which are represented in words, symbols or formula are called chemical equation. That means in short we can represent chemical equation in terms of words, or we can represent in terms of symbols, or we can represent in terms of formula. In short, what I would like to say is that whatever you have studied in class 9, you'll have to memorize back the symbols, the formulas, what you have studied. For example, hydrogen H, helium He, lithium Li, beryllium Be, boron B, carbon C, nitrogen N, oxygen O. All those symbols you have to memorize it back as you come back to class 10. The symbols and the valency and everything. So when you know the symbols and when you know the valency, you will be able to write that one in terms of formula. That one in terms of formula. But if you do not know, then you will have to write in terms of word, then it is called as word equation. Chemical equation which are expressed in words are known as word equation. Chemical equation which are expressed in words are known as word equation. So here I am giving you example. Here hydrogen plus oxygen gives you water. This is a word equation. But most of the time, that means in chemistry, you cannot do with word equation. So you will have to express either in terms of symbol or in terms of formula. Here we see that when a chemical reaction is written in terms of symbol and formula, then it is called skeletal equation. Any chemical reaction, when you write it in terms of symbol and formula, then it is called skeletal equation. Here example you see I have given you before the previous example in the word equation as hydrogen and oxygen reacts to form water. Here I am giving you hydrogen as H2 symbol, oxygen as O2 symbol and gives you water as a formula H2O. So this is called skeletal reaction. Why it is called skeletal reaction? Because the reactant and the product, they are not balanced. The reactant, the number of atoms in the reactant is not equal to the number of atoms in the product. When it is not equal, but you express it in terms of symbol and formula, but it is not balanced, then it is called as the skeletal reaction. Now we will come to the balance equation. So what is the balance equation? The chemical equation in which the number of atoms of the reactant is equal to the number of atoms of the product is called balance equation. So what is the balance equation? The chemical equation in which the number of atoms of the reactant is equal to the number of atoms of the product is called balance equation. Here, this is skeletal equation here. Here we see that here 2 hydrogen atoms are here and 2 oxygen atoms are here. But in the product there is 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. So there the number of atoms are not same. The left hand side is not equal to the right hand side. So to make it equal, what we will do is that we will multiply with these 2 here. So that 2 oxygen and here becomes 4 hydrogen. So with these 2 again we will multiply here. Then the number of atoms in the reactant is equal to the number of atoms in the product. So this is called a balance equation. So in my next video, I'll come to you with how to balance a chemical equation.
Stay home, stay safe.
Do it for self.
Do it for your family. Do it for India.
Let's break the chain of COVID-19.
हम होंगे कामयाब, जय हिंद। हम होंगे कामयाब, जय हिंद।
हम होंगे कामयाब। जय हिंद।